Hey guys, Enter the Stars with a channel update live from France. Now, let me pull this up here. I'm going to look at the chat here. I got my camera turned off because I think the signal just doesn't come through as well. I'm still piggybacking off of the neighbors. Wanted to share some stories with you guys of what's going on over here right now. There's Old School for God. Allergies have started to kind of level out over here. Different pollens, different plants. Still waiting on internet. It's been a while. You know, it took about this long when I was in Texas. It took about a month to get internet. I don't know if you guys remember, but basically, it took a very long time to get internet, and it was so frustrating. Well, it's the same thing out here. Now imagine that times 10 because you've got a language barrier. So that's what's going on with that, you guys. Just wanted to connect with you. It's been a while since I've connected with you guys live. I guess Underground World News got canceled last night. Dub is going to try to do it again tonight. It'll be late for me, like 2 or 3 in the morning, but possibly be able to make it. See a few of you filtering in. There's Janet, Marie, Old School for God. Behold, he cometh in the clouds. What's up? There's Mike Gray. Why don't I share screens with you guys so you can see yourself in the chat. So today I got on my bike and went down to the butcher. Wasn't a lot of meat in there. I guess everyone does everything in the mornings, so I think I pretty much got the leftovers. But I did get, what was it called? See, I already forgot. I'm horrible with my memory when it comes to languages. Dindi, D-I-N-D, rito, which means roast. De dindi, which is turkey. Now, it didn't look like turkey when I bought it. It was in its own little package. It's like a entree type of thing with a little plastic thing on top. I thought I'm going to try this, and it had like a little quiche thing with like tomatoes in it. It looked really good, and it had this sauce in it. So I was like, right on. I'm gonna buy this. So I got that. I got some beef links, so we're gonna try that. Of course, went to the bread store, but the little market wasn't open, so I didn't get some of the things that I needed. So I'll have to go back tomorrow. Luckily, it's literally a stone's throw. There was a wedding going on at the church. Forgot it was Saturday today. Rick asks how long I've been in France. I guess it's been about 3 weeks now, 3 or 4 weeks. And the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. Yeah, exactly. Matthew Marine says, yo, Casey, I put up my first prophetic video on YouTube. Right on, way to go. Just finishing my Top Gun intro. Put in the stars under the thank you page. Awesome. Semper Fi. Right on. So that's what's kind of going on. The neighbors have been very helpful, people next door. And they, like I said, they're letting me piggyback off of their internet. And it can't be convenient for them because I'm sure that they're everything's slowed down quite a bit, you know. And so what I've done is I went over there and gave them some euros, like 20 euros, so that they could feel a little bit better about it. And then he's working on getting me a car. Probably need some kind of a used car, which amazingly, he thinks he can get me a car for about 800 to 1,000 euros, which is literally like about $900 to $1,200. You can't find anything like that in the States. I mean, you're just not going to find a vehicle. I know because I had to buy a vehicle about 3 years ago. That Nissan Xterra I bought was $7,000, and that was a 2002. So if he can get me a vehicle for like 800 euros or 700 euros, I told him I don't need anything fancy. As long as I can fit in the thing, I'm 6'2". we're good. So that's the story with that. I keep in touch with Mark every couple days, but I think the place for me to be is up in his attic, out the window. That's where I get the best reception, regardless of kind of what's going on. And the ability for me even to live stream to you guys is impossible anywhere else in the house. And that's because all the houses are made out of stone here. Even if they don't see stone from the outside, they're built with stone, and then they've got like stucco applied. But especially these older farmhouses, they're called, they're all built with solid granite. So unless you're inside to the other person's house, you're just not going to get reception. So that's what's going on with that. I wonder what time it is over there for you guys. See, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon here, so I think that puts us at about between 8 and 10 a.m. where most of you guys are. Some of you guys are on my part of the world, my Australia brothers and sisters. Oh, houses in Brazil are also made with stone, says identify this. Yeah, places where there aren't earthquakes, stone is the best building material. Thanks, V. LaBelle. There's Life of Cal. Ryan's in the house. 7 a.m. in Washington. It's still early for you guys, and it's a Saturday. T. Kerr is in the house. Crystal, 10 a.m. Method Marine, of course. Rick Daystar, 10 a.m. New York. Right on. 10 a.m. in Florida. Michael. So that's where things stand. It's interesting because I've run into a couple people. And there are a lot of rules here in France. I was able to talk to some folks about the managed healthcare. They have a system similar to the managed healthcare in the United States. System seems to run a bit more efficiently, I guess you could say. My issue with managed healthcare is that we already spend so much in taxes. And once you're in the system, you're stuck. You have to pay those taxes. If you're a W-2 worker, you have to pay those taxes. And then you're at the mercy of the government to basically run your healthcare and decide who lives or dies and so on and so forth. Now, the folks here in France are pretty confident about their services in their country and what they're going to get for what they pay into, right? And the folks that I talk to fully believe that. If they get hurt, they know they're going to be taken care of. They know they're going to get retirement, Social Security. Folks in France are guaranteed 5 weeks of vacation per year, mandatory. Most businesses are closed between 12 noon and like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. We call this doctor's hours because that's kind of what it was like in the U.S. for doctors. When I was a pharmaceutical rep, all the doctor's offices were closed for 2 hours during those hours. So now I know where that came from. It's a European thing. There isn't this much traffic driving by, but it's Saturday and there's a wedding in the center of town. So what I found interesting was the bird calls are amazing. They actually sound like songs. And some of the mannerisms and I guess you call it enunciations of what happened? Oh, there you are. That the French speak when you're listening to them seem to almost mimic calls. It's bizarre. It's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. I'm sitting there listening to people talk because everything echoes because, you're like right across the street. My neighbor could probably hear me talking right now. I can hear them talking. And you hear everyone speaking French, of course. And then you'll hear their what is that called? Like their pitch, enunciations. It goes up and down, the rhythm of the voice. And then you'll hear the birds, and it's almost like they're like mocking the people or something. It's unbelievable. I don't know if they took it from the birds or the birds took it from them. But I'm hearing songs, like pop songs, in the way I don't know if I've been here too long already, but I'm hearing like pop songs. These birds are singing like pop songs. It's crazy. So, and I didn't hear anything like this than living in America. So it's definitely different. Of course, you guys saw that cool moth. Oh, that moth video that I uploaded yesterday got attacked within the first 100 views. It had 20 something thumbs down. So I turned off the ratings, you guys. Look, I'm not going to play the troll game, okay? If it isn't obvious already, they know that I've got a challenge with the internet right now. They know that. They know that I'm not going to be as quick to be able to kind of police the channel and make sure people aren't getting away with stuff. But every once in a while, that back up and I hit internet again. I was like, what the right now? So that's what I'm dealing with. So if you see stuff like that, it's meant as a psyop. It's a psychological game that they're playing. Okay. Because believe it or not, even though you guys love the channel and you come here and you like me and you like what I have to say, when you see all those thumbs down psychologically and subliminally, it is going to place doubt in your mind about the message that I'm putting forward. Okay. It's not going to give you the confidence to believe what you're hearing and seeing. And they count on that. And there's nothing you can do about it. I don't care how much you like me or this channel. When you see that, that's how you subliminally and subconsciously respond. This is why they came up with the thumbs up, thumbs down rating system, because it's exactly that. All it is a psyop. And they're back there behind the veil, behind the curtain, controlling everything. Okay. They can't come right out and just give you 500 thumbs down. What they can do is they can subtly adjust and pull the levers. I mean, it's literally like the Wizard of Oz. Like there's a guy behind a veil, a curtain, which is like an algorithm. Basically, it's a computer algorithm. And basically, that's what they do. This is how they control things. I mean, there's just no way that this channel with almost 50,000 subscribers here in France, sharing all this new information about a lifestyle that many people don't get to see and all the commentary and adventures, there's no way this channel is only getting the views that they're showing. Okay. Unless they've been effective at censoring the channel. And so I just put my head down, put my nose to the grindstone, and do what I have to do. Okay, even the live show right now, number of people watching isn't even correct. It's all fabricated to prevent you from absorbing and believing the information that comes from this channel. Okay, I've seen people get on a live show and get 100 to 400 people watching. Okay, and every time you guys come here, there's new information and something to hear. So I just want to remind you guys, that's what's going on. They couldn't defund us. Well, they did defund us, but they thought we were all going to go away, which is a sign that people are not here for the right reasons. If you're seeing certain channels dip in their number of videos that they're putting up and just really not into it anymore, that's a sign that maybe that channel's not here for the right reason. I'm going to keep putting up videos even if they take every red cent out of YouTube, because that's how I started on YouTube. Before I even knew that you can put ads on videos and all of that. I started with passion and I'm going to end with passion. And isn't it amazing how God provides a way? Like just as all this was happening, here comes Mark with this opportunity for me to help. But I want to do him right as well. You know, I want to be able to give him some money. All of the money that I make is pretty much going to go to him, so that so I'm not just living here for free. So that's where things sit, you guys, and they're always going to attack. They always will. Okay, because it's the nature of the beast. They don't want people to see what life can be like. Now, I will tell you this: French people are very protective of what they have. Because they've been screwed over by the United States. This couple I ran into explained this to me. They said, the reason why we make it hard for Americans to come here and stay outside their visa and things like that is because you make it so hard for other people to come in your country. Now, isn't that interesting, that perspective, right? Why would they have that perspective when the Hispanics, Mexicans come across the border at will? But the people who try to come over here correctly are notably feeling the strict rules. Isn't that backwards? Aren't the people that can afford a plane ticket to come here, come to the United States, not here, but to the United States, who are traveling, who just maybe want to stay for a year, maybe they have the money to do that in the United States? Shouldn't those be the people that they should be least concerned about? People least likely to commit crimes rather than the people flooding across the border who are basically start out as a criminal? Do you see how backwards this world is? But yet the people that are feeling pinch internationally when they travel to the United States are the people that are trying to do it legally. It's very difficult to stay in the United States if you try to go through the proper avenues. So, minds.com says Chris. I'm just on my soapbox. I see I do all. Good morning from Oklahoma. Right on, brother. It's Roxanne. Thanks, Roxanne, for your prayers. My daughter is here. She made it safely. She's near Paris. She's like South Paris with her uncle, safe and sound at a hotel that he works at. She'll be working there and with him. And I'll probably get to see her like in a month. I haven't seen her it's been a year, maybe almost a year and a half. I haven't seen my daughter since before I went to Texas. Or my son. But at least my daughter's here, and I'll get to see her eventually. Like I said, I don't have a vehicle yet, but that should be fixed within the next week or two. Once I get my vehicle and my own internet, and things are going to heat up, literally. We're going to have the summer will be here, and I'll be able to reach more destinations. I'm not going to go super crazy, though, because petrol, which is what they call it here, called essence gas, petrol, is very expensive. It's like $1.44 a liter. That are good with math, you understand that a liter is far smaller than a gallon. So in Texas, I was paying like $2 a gallon for gas. Wait, was it $2? Yeah, it was like $2. It's like $1.89 a gallon for gas. In California, I was paying about the same in Stockton, but on the coast of California, the gas was like $3 a gallon, $3.50 was the average. Well, here it's $1.40 a liter. So how many liters are in a gallon? You guys know? Let's see how good your math is. How many liters are in a gallon? I think it's probably I think there's 2 liters in a gallon. Well, like a 2-liter soda, would that fit in a gallon? Close, right? So like $3 a gallon, maybe. Justin Buffalo says 4. There's 4 liters. 4 liters in a gallon. Oh, wait. Are you guys talking about something different? 3, says V. 3.7. Thank you. Identify this. So 3. Okay. So 3 times. Holly Beth. Good day to you too. You read this out. So $1.40 times 4. $1.50. 2, 3, 4. Gosh, it's like $4.50 a gallon. Wow, $4.50 a gallon. That's nuts. So there you go. Gallon for gas here. Now, I will tell you, all of the cars here are tiny. Why? Because the roads are tiny. Tiny roads, tiny cars. These cars aren't burning much fuel. Now, you do have, like anywhere else, you got like your dragsters, right? Your your people who have their souped up cars, and they're probably burning a lot more fuel. Their cars get up and go a lot faster, you know. Turbos, a lot of turbos for kind of the more elite people. And you see them every once in a while roll through town. Identify this as get horse. Yeah, I got enough hay up here. There's about 20 bales of hay up in this attic, all tucked away in corners, which is probably why there's mice eking away above my bedroom. So I moved downstairs. And yeah, I don't know if that's okay for the mice to be hanging out up there. There's nothing to eat up there. Ollie says in Seoul, things are expensive here too. Now, what you pay in gas, you make up for in a lot of other things are less expensive. You know, like today I splurged a little. I got 2 eclairs from the bakery with my baguette, and I got a chocolate eclair, and I got a eclair, which was amazing. I took just a bite of it because I'm going to save it tomorrow for my coffee. And I got a citron, like a little, and it was amazing. It was like this lemon, like little miniature pie. And I took a bite of it, and I was like, my mouth exploded. I love lemon things. And so I basically, I don't need to go nuts on sweets while I'm here. But I figure I've been working hard for 3 weeks. Every single day I've been out here. Today I mowed the lawn. It's about half acre on this property. And so I was out there mowing for a good 2 hours on the property. You got to mow like every 3 or 4 or 5 days because otherwise it gets crazy. And we're supposed to be getting some rain over the next couple days. And last night, I think it hailed, unless I was dreaming. It sounded like someone was throwing small rocks against the house. So, did I bring enough for the whole class? No, Righteous Hawk. So I can't wait to try these meats tomorrow. I'll probably videotape that. Oh, let me give you an update on the. Many of you have noticed that there's a big smudge on the camera. What that actually is a scratch. Yeah, somewhere in transport. I almost feel like when they went through my stuff at the airport, I think they sabotaged me. My computer hasn't been working right. Neither has my Geek Pro. I bought a Geek Pro, which is like a GoPro, but it's a knockoff. And I think I shared this with you guys. It was like $42 shipped, and I just got this camera. And the freaking lens is scratched, which looks like a smudge. And notice it, but it just isn't that good. So Cito Monk and him in industry circles, he actually lived in the Bay Area when I was over in Stockton staying with my mom. Didn't get to go try to come up and catch some German browns with me, but he's 30th, which is just a couple days. So I'll have a GoPro, which we'll be rolling, you guys. We will be good. We will have a good camera. The sound should be great. And we will go do some touring. Oh, I cut off. Oh, shoot. All right. Let's see. Yeah. I'm in the chat. Uh-oh. Losing you, Casey. So I'm trying to think what other updates I have for you. Yeah. Oh, so I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, but this is kind of due. Somebody in the house must be on the. All right. Oh, man. Bet you someone in the house is on the computer. Okay, that's better. So people in France are very protective of they've been sold a tough story. As I told you, they fully believe in their country and their health. Um, believe it or not. Uh-oh. That should be better. Maybe I should stop. That we should start paying into our healthcare age, but I don't believe that it should. Am I losing you guys? Shoot. Back to Texas. Let me see here. Hold on. Uh-oh. They're loading your app. Uh-oh. Try again. It says we're broadcasting. Cancel. How's that? Can you guys hear me? Testing. Oh, okay, cool. So, should be better now, you guys. Better. Okay, good. I do believe that that we should be paying into our healthcare, but this is how I disagree with this couple talking about this. I said, look, I told him, I said, look, I've never had a cavity. I've never had a broken bone. Not to say that I might not get a cavity one day or might not break a bone. That's not the point. And the point isn't to make other people about their health problems, but there should be an incentive for people who take care of their bodies. I mean, that's even biblical. It's something that helps the human race to be cognizant of your own health. And people keep thinking it's a bad thing, but it's not. And I believe that you do take personal responsibility for your health. And Amanda says she healed herself by eating right. Exactly. And that people that don't maybe smoke or don't not outside of a healthy weight, or who do try to take care of themselves and who as a result are less sick, that those people should be not have to pay as much. And you know what? If I was doing all those things and not taking care of my health, I would feel like I should pay more. And people should feel like they should pay more if they're in that category. Now, we have to be careful here because this can get into privacy issues and Big Brother monitoring, what happens to you and your health, right? And like looking over your shoulder. Now, if there was ever a time where someone should be looking out, it should be your health, not what kind of stuff you're talking about in the news and your viewpoints on certain things and whether or not you're a conspiracy theorist. Do you see what I mean? They shouldn't care about that because that's free speech. If they're going to care about anything, they should care about how well we're taking care of ourselves. That's like love. That's a level of love that would demonstrate that they actually care, but they don't. You see, we live in a society of indulgence. And I was talking to this couple, and we were comparing and contrasting the United States to France. And she was telling me how here they talk a lot about health, and it looked down upon to indulge, like smorgasbords. You don't see those here. You don't see all these commercials enticing you to eat all this food. A completely different society. And so, therefore, that translates into health. You see a lot of folks, there's some guys right here, bonjour, cruising by on bikes. I actually looked it up, and the town where I'm staying is was one of the towns of the Tour de France that passed through here. It was actually, I think it was a starting point in 2002. Are we still connected, you guys? It's interesting because the 2001 Tour de France was the 88th Tour de France. That was the year of 9/11, of course. I thought that was interesting. So the very year after that, the Tour de France started in this town. The 8th stage started in this town, which is kind of cool. So you still see the effect of cycling here. You still see that it is a very big part of European life. You see people with their jerseys and their cycles, and everyone's cycling around, right? So that's kind of the update. Got into a little bit of a debate with this couple about socialized medicine. And, I had no idea. She seemed to have a lot of confidence in what she does or their, socialized medicine. Of course, she was young, so it may have an impact. She did undergo like a knee surgery for a skiing accident and said she got sufficient care. And she has confidence that she's going to get retirement and Social Security and all that stuff. And like I said, I have a problem with it. But if I were to change the model, what I would do would be to take your money that you pay in should go into your own account. In other words, there is such a thing as health savings account. That's not really what I'm talking about here. Okay. I'm talking about, how like with Social Security, if you work a certain amount of hours or make a certain amount of money, they send you a statement like every year or every other year. And that statement tells you that because you worked this amount and because you paid in this amount, this is what your Social Security benefit will be when you turn 65. Well, it should be no different for health insurance. In other words, when you're young, yeah, you might break an arm, but you're probably not going to come down with some major illness that's going to require months and months and years of recuperation. Okay? Years old, you start working. My first job was at McDonald's. And of course, they take out money for other things. I remember getting my check. I think I made $3.15 an hour. That gives you an idea of how long ago I was working at McDonald's, right? So basically, there should be another line item that says health. Okay. And whatever you pay in, you start, of course, working at McDonald's, let's say I only paid in the first year, $75 or $100 that first year into my health account. Well, that should roll over and it should build. Now, the couple made some good points about privatization of such monies, in that with a down stock market or, market crash, it would not be wise to invest those monies for health into a private accounts to try to make it grow, even though there is a large upside to that and it could be very lucrative. Chances are it might not be. So we have a thing called safe investments. And we all know what they are, and they're very safe. And I believe that as you pay into this account, you should have the option to divert part of those funds, not all of them, like maybe 50% or 25%, to private accounts to make it grow. Okay. It's a little bit of a gamble, but hey, it's a lot better than throwing all of our money into some healthcare bill or healthcare, not in a big black hole and not knowing what's happening to this money and then still not getting the care. You see what I'm saying? And then I think at that point, as life goes on, let's say you hit 20, you've been working for 3 or 4 years, you've got $4,000 in your account. Now, if you break an arm, you go to a doctor. You don't go through an insurance company. You go to a doctor and you pay cash for your broken arm. The doctor is no longer going to charge you $10,000 for that broken arm. He's not going to bill that to the insurance company. He's going to get cash from you, which is doctors like cash anyway. He's going to charge you about a quarter to half as much. That's the way healthcare needs to be run in this world. Now, what is the incentive? The incentive is, I don't know how we got on a healthcare tangent, but trying to compare and contrast what's going on in France. The incentive is you should be getting tax breaks on the money that you've paid in to your own healthcare account. When, as the years go by, you say you hit 30, no major incidents, 2 doctor visits in 10 years. Then you hit 40, no cavities, no dental visits, no broken arms, no illnesses. You should start to receive in your adult life tax write-offs for all that money that you've put into your health account that you're not even using. Say that you're going to money that matters. But when you hit a certain age, you should be able to start drawing against that money and borrowing. Let's say you've got $100,000 in your account, your health account, and you're 65. $100,000. Now, as we know, the government is using that money, even though it's your money, it's in your against that money. They've used it for other things. They've made money off of your money, right? Because remember, this money cannot be touched. And guess what? They should give some of that back. You should be able to, especially if you're 70 years old and you've never been sick, you should be able to 50% of that money and actually have a little fun in life for all the taxes you paid in, right? $1 of that money back when I'm 70. So I can go on a vacation. So I can go on a cruise and start living because I've worked my whole life and I've taken care of my body. All that money that I saved up for my health, I want to use that for the last 20 years of my life. Now, if I were to propose this idea to the world, which is what we're trying to do here on YouTube, right? Because the world should have access to this video. I can't think of one person to think this was a bad idea. They've already got the infrastructure in place. They've already got the accounting systems in place because they're doing it with Social Security. They're already looking at Social Security and how much you pay into it, benefits going to be. They have the computers to handle all this data. And you guys, it'll all work out. Works or have worked. Yes, they want your soul. That is the point. They'll never let an idea like this go because then it will empower people. People will be free from the beast. And so they don't want us to be free. But that's my idea anyway, for those who want to listen. I think it might be a good idea. Spread the word. It's like a health savings account, but it's not. It's your own personal account that you pay into from the time you start working. And you get to borrow against that, and kind of like an IRA, but it's for health. All right. Amanda is a success story about fibromyalgia. Right? And I love when you guys share stories because that's what this is about. And it's not just about me talking. You guys are a wealth of information. Your database of experiences that other people, this is the body of Christ. This is why we're all here. We share this stuff in love because we want to help each other. You guys. I'm trying to make my way in life just like you. Here right now, and things look good here and great. French people pay a lot of taxes. And what I've been told by this couple, idea for me to let a bunch of people in this small town what I'm doing here and what I'm about. Jealousy everywhere. Just like there is in the United States, there's jealousy, and there's a lot of here. There is for people who are still in the matrix here, being controlled. Uh-oh, I'm cutting out again. Dang it. In trouble here. It's called being controlled. Literally. And everything is controlled. When you, when they let me borrow the car, they're like, if you get controlled, them your papers. And you have to literally show papers. It's like Nazi Germany. It's bad, but I haven't been controlled yet. But this is what they call it. So I'm kind of in a different, so to speak, than maybe the typical French person, because I'm a national traveling here and experiencing their life, but not necessarily locked into their beast system. And so that can attract some attention. So, you know, I need to be cognizant of my surroundings and be careful of who I talk to and tell what I'm doing here. I'm going to be here. But I just can't imagine. I mean, can you imagine, you guys? They knocked on my door and tried to like deport me. Camera. And that would show the web of control that exists in this world. I mean, little old me. No police record. Never did anything wrong in my life. Never even had a drunk driving. And how did they find me in this town? You know, that would be the video of all videos, pretty much. Everything we fight against in this world, right? Everything. There isn't one way to escape the matrix. I'm starting to learn that as well. Many ways to escape the matrix. This is just one way, but this might not be the way for everybody. You know, there's some of them. No, NorCal, they haven't tried to deport me, but you know, 90 days is coming up. So, hugs to T. Kerr and marry you. Yeah. So basically, what's going on is leave the matrix. I've taught some of those ways. You guys talked about that's while there's still land. You don't have entry to get out of the matrix. The answer for everybody. This door just opened, so I walked through it. Get land in the U.S. if you're from the U.S. for cheap, but you have to make. You guys got to make a plan. You can't just keep beating the drum in the matrix every single day and not start saving for your future. Let me give you an example. Family next door. I watched them come and go, you know, cause I'm up here in the attic. I'm kind of like, what do you call it? I'm a hooker up here. I'm up here in the attic looking down on everyone, and they're like, what is that guy doing? And basically, you know, there's a city center with pretty much everything you need. Sure, they take every so often, but there are no like box stores or restaurants. There is no expectation restaurant once or twice a week. When I was we went to a restaurant like twice a week, 3 times a week. We're eating out. It was an expectation, you know, like if I didn't take my family out to eat 2 or 3 times a week, I'm a bad father. I'm a stick in the mud. I'm a jerk. I'm selfish, you know. And it was about staying within the means, but it's completely different here. Like The expectation that everyone has a role. Okay, stories. I mean, money. Okay, that's an American thing. Thousands of dollars a month in disposable income is a very much an American pastime. That's not how the rest of the world works. The world goes months at a time spending any money. Okay, or they're being resourceful. And oh man, my audio went out. Dang it, guys, I'm sorry. So that's what's going on in the rest of the world. You know, you're in a rat race. I mean, guys, this is everything. This is relationships. This is dating life. You know, if you're not pulling your wallet out, something, if you don't have a career and have business or own properties or have what as a someone that someone wants to date. That's just, and I'm sorry, but that's just what it is. I know that all women or men aren't like that. Time I went out into the matrix to try to date, that's what I ran into in my life. Even when I was successful, it wasn't ever enough because the bar just raises, right? And so that's what the point, like for me, where I just decide, you know, I don't care what anyone thinks about. I don't care what a woman thinks about me, about how much money I made. Money. I don't need to make money to impress you. If you can't live the life that I want to live, which is the example that Jesus set for us, you know. Oh, that's kind of the stuff. Oh, lost you guys again. Gee, this is bad. This is bad. But so, oh goodness, they're having some tech difficulties loading the app. Let's cancel. Okay, let's try this. You have to get small and try to avoid the matrix. Yes, Righteous Hawk. Righteous Hawk is correct. You have to get small. That's exactly what you have to do. About you know, I was working, making loan through. Man, I was pulling in 6 or 7 grand a month, and with taxes, you know, you only $5 right off for the interest on the house. That was just my mortgage was like 25. I mean, that's mad money, guys, and all that money, nothing to show for it. I used to go on vacations that were $2,000 and $3,000 and $5,000, you know, twice a year. All the money spent on eating out, literally like $1,000 or more. All that money could have been saved, and in no time, $1,000 or $80,000 to buy a property cash. Yeah, you have to, maybe like $500 a year. You can come up with $500 a year. Okay, you can come up with $500 a year. Go to McDonald's and work. Oh, don't go to McDonald's because we don't like it. You can go anywhere. You can go to Subway and work in a Subway and make $500 in a month. If that's what you have to do. Okay, without all the stress of the grind. I call it the grind, the grinder. We're on this planet. Work and spend. That is the world mantra. Work, spend, and work. And it's like a snake eating its tail. You can never work enough and you can never spend enough. So what do? You get off the hamster wheel. You stop spending and you stop working so hard. All of a sudden, life opens up to do things like my YouTube channel that I've been on since 2012. You have time to consider the spiritual things. You get afterwards to try to inspire people to think. I don't know how many times I've heard people say, you know, one day I woke up and I realized I worked a lot of life and never lifted my head to smell the roses. Never enjoyed a minute of it. And that's what I do on this channel, to try to help you guys pull your head out of it. All overrated. Done it, you guys. And they pump you up. Oh man. You to self, it's called self. If you're not successful, it's because you're not working on yourself enough. All you have to do is read a self-help book. You're this or you're that, or you have to be a better salesperson. I don't know how many sales classes I went to telling me that be a different salesperson. I have to skill level, right? You guys, it's all BS. Okay? All that's meant to do is make so that you keep consuming. Fine. How do you make people keep consuming? You tell them they're inadequate, right? Finally, I gave family in my life and what they thought I should do. I gave everybody the middle finger. These women that I dated who thought I wasn't doing enough, they all got it. I turned my back on everyone. Came to YouTube. Talk to people who want to hear what I have to say. Talking about who understand that who aren't constantly telling me I'm in. And that's what I'm going to do. And that's what I did. Yeah, sorry guys. Yeah. Bad audio. I think what's happened is all right. Because this is just not working. Let's try this. Maybe that's better. Got 2 bars now. Listen to your vids when you're done and you will see. Okay, thanks, Buddha Girl. So frustrating. So, I even took off the video, which should have made it better, but I guess it was kind of doing this last time, wasn't it? That's what's going on. Gosh, this bird is hilarious. This bird is making me laugh. Listen, see if you can hear it. It's like he's having a conversation. It's all about land, and I know that you pay taxes on land. I get that, but at least you have a corner of the world you can call your own, right? That's what matters. Something they can never take away, something they can never hold over your head and threaten you with. I've told you guys this before on other shows. Three biggest threats in life that they use to control you and keep you in fear: employment, housing, food. There's actually four, and transportation. And all we get is an annoying bird here, says no one. Hey, Kamiko, how you doing? I like the bird. He's like singing, or she's singing, or he's singing a song, Adele song or something. Listen. Okay, so basically, in fear, do those things, and if you can alleviate any one of those factors, again, housing, food, and transportation, then you have won. You have part of your power back. Your own life choices based on what's right rather than what's going to pay. Okay. I don't know how long I was in the slave world. Yeah, I had a good job, but I was still a slave. Away from the nipple of pharmaceutical sales, because the money was good, even though it was a slimy business. You know, drug pushers, they used to call us, and lunches. Oh, they try to legitimize it. They try to make you feel like you're an asset to the company, and you know, da 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 da, and the doctors respond to you, da 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 da, right? And you're a resource for the doctors. Doctors don't need us lurking around their offices. Think about how creepy that is. But they glorify it, right? Because anything in America that has money surrounding it is glorified and made to look cool. Look at Hollywood, for instance. The creepiest, slimiest business, but yet because there's a bunch of money in it, oh, it's looked up to. So here's the thing. We were doing all that, pushing all this stuff, and it just got to the point where I couldn't do it anymore. I was done. Never look back. The rest of my life, if I need to help other people realize that the rat race is all money does is better about yourself because you're feeling inadequate. So you figure the more money you have, you're gonna get. I got news for you. Yeah, the more money you make, the more you realize how much more money everybody has. 25% club. But there are people in the Bay Area of California, for instance, they're saying now that a man and a woman making $125,000 a year in the Bay Area is now considered poor. Can you believe that? Poor. Man and a woman making $125,000 a year in the Bay Area are considered poor. That's a lot of stinking money. Area, because their rent's $5,000 a month. It's a sliding scale. The more you make, the more they take. The more you make, the more you feel like you belong in a different neighborhood. And there's endless amounts of things that you can spend money on. Put your kids in a better school. You can live in a better neighborhood. You can drive a better car. You see how that just ate up your salary? You were making $60,000 a year. You went up to $120,000 a year, but all that got eaten up because you got a better car, a better neighborhood, and put your kids in a private school. See how that works? And it took me like 10 years to start realizing this. I thought, oh man, as soon as I hit $100,000 a year, I'm going to be rolling, man. I'm going to be the cat's meow. I'm going to be the guy. People are going to respect me, right? wrong. People don't respect you. There's a neighbor. They park in the property or so. Let him pull in. Benoit. His name is Benoit. We'll say hi to Benoit real quick. What's he doing? He's got a microphone on his head and he's in the window. Bonjour, Benoit. Bonjour. Hey, internet. Wi-Fi. Yeah. He's like, leave me alone. So, and if they already know this, just not telling everybody. And why? It's because it keeps us all on the rat race, keeps us all doing our jobs, putting our head down, keeping the drum of the economy rolling, keeping everything moving right along. Nothing to see here, move along. Libel. She's like, why did he call it Wi-Fi? Yeah, they call it Wi-Fi here. So, sounds like a Star Wars character. That'd be a cool name for like one of the Star Wars characters. Benoit. That's his name. I said, am I saying it right? Oui. Benoit. So I'm like, Ben what? Yeah. So that's what's going on, you guys. Like, this is what I talk about, keeping you in the matrix. A lot of people don't really understand what I'm saying when I say that, when I'm trying to explain it to you. And when you begin to pull away, you begin to take one step. I call it backing the car out of the garage. When you start backing the car out of the garage, slowly, 1 foot at a time, and you pull away from each of the vices that they've set before us, you start to regain your freedom. This is when you understand the real purpose of life. And so that's where I'm at now, you guys. You know, people thought I was crazy. You're crazy. You're going to a foreign country. You have no idea what you're getting yourself into. Guess what? It's different than what I was doing before. And I'm willing to try anything, you know, change things up. I mean, bless my mom's heart. She was there for me. She always has been when I've hit bumps in the road in my life. I try not to stick around too long. I try to regain my independence. But, you know, let me explain something to you about America. America is built on a grid system, okay? Now, compare that to Europe. Europe is built on a circular system, all right? Now, what is a grid? A grid is a square pattern. I was thinking about this the other day. Mark and I were talking about it. I said, Mark, I can feel it. I can literally feel the difference. It's like a dimensional shift of reality, living in a circle-based reality versus a square and grid-based reality. I remember growing up in Stockton, when you wanted to get across town, sometimes you had to zigzag, okay? Because, yeah, there's a lot of long, straight lines. Few long, straight lines that go at the train. A lot of the destinations, some of them you would actually had to zigzag 3 or 4 or 5 times. That's because it's laid out like a grid. In other words, like a crosshatch. Okay, there's the church bells, which is really cool. They go off several times a day. Get to hear them. It's not too overpowering either, which is neat. I guess that means it's 3 o'clock. It rang 3 times. Let's see, what time is it? Oh no, it's almost 5. It's 5 o'clock. Guess it rang 5 times. Anyway, gosh, the computer's getting hot. You feel the dimensional shift. Now, what is a grid? You guys, a grid is a cube. It's the cube-based reality. Now, it's interesting. The country code for America is 1. When you dial a phone number, it's 1 in America. Guess what the country code is in France? It's 33. Guess what the country code is in the UK to dial? It's 44. So anytime you dial London, The code is 44. And I'm 44 years old, and I flew into London before I came to France. And I know there are no accidents, you guys. There are no accidents. So what does that mean? Is the circle better? I don't know. I want to say it is. You know, there's 360 days in a prophetic year in the Bible. 360 degrees in a circle. Maybe it's about the circle. The circle of the earth is mentioned in the Bible. Okay? I don't know. But I can tell you this. I know that what we've been told about Europeans not, being more atheist, and I think that's only in the cities, you guys, the major cities. Out here in the country, you hear that church bell ringing? Every time that church bell rings, the whole city hears it. Why? Because that church is in the center of the circle, and all of the other houses and streets spread out from the circle. It's like a neuron in the brain. It's basically laid out like that here in Europe. And when you come to a corner, it's a roundabout. You don't come to a corner, circle. And from that circle, you branch off to other circles. It's amazing. And, it's interesting because I feel God here more than I ever did in the grid, in the cube life. And I can't explain it. I can't really put it in words, but I feel like people here more live the God lifestyle. They do less about talking about God. They don't sit around and proselytize and tell other people how they're supposed to worship and all this, which is what we do in America, right? They just live it. They live a more simple life. This woman across the street, great. Everyone says hello to everyone. Bonjour. Bonjour says, when you make eye contact with someone, you say bonjour. That's just, you don't have that in America. What do we do in America? Oh, don't say hi to me. You said hi to me? I didn't give you permission to address me. That's the attitude that I get. And if you say hi to someone, it's like that you want something. Okay? Not like that here. Everyone says hi to everybody. And yeah, it may be a little superficial, but at least you have the doors open to something real that can happen between your neighbor, right? There's like a ritual. I see a lot of ritual here. Not a bad ritual. There's continuity. There's rhythm. It's like a drum beat. It's like a heartbeat of life. When the sun's up, you hear a lot of mowing going on. Everyone's mowing their lawns. Everyone wakes up in the morning. The first thing they do is open their shutters. Some people have metal shutters that slide up and down. Other people have like wood shutters that open up. But pretty much everybody has shutters here. I don't know why, but because we don't have that in America, there are no shutters. It's just you have a window. And shutters open, and usually some sweeping that happens. You see people tending to the garden. You see basically a parade of people coming back from the bread shop with the baguette under their arm. It's like a storybook. The other day, they cleaned the street, and I was shocked. They had a guy on each side of the road. One guy had like a stick, like a pole, and he scraping the cracks of the curb where the weeds were coming up. He was bleeding. Once a month. That was my years growing up. These guys they were manicuring Disneyland. Like literally. Oh man. Oh, Oath of God. Yeah, it's like a storybook. Yes, it is. It's amazing. Let me see if I can fix this. Okay, it's better. I mean, I haven't seen this much attention to detail when I was at Disneyland. Literally, perfectly trimmed hedges. First thing I did when I got here, it was, kind of some disrepair. Still is. There's a lot of work to be done, you guys. But I think I'm in over my head with certain projects. I don't do doors and windows. Sorry, Mark. As a motorcycle, a couple motorcycles. I don't do doors and windows. I looked at these French doors, and they've got like this. I don't know. And like crack. Got it. But up. I'm in over my head. And then I saw up here in the attic where Mark's dad was up here working on doors. He had some masks off and there's some primer on one. So this was kind of his workshop for the doors, right? And so I don't know if I'm able to do all that. Oh, I guess I'm breaking up. Okay, looks like I got 3 bars. So I'll do what I can, but the first thing I did when I got here is I started weeding and mowing. I can do all that really good. I can sit behind a mower for 3 or 4 hours a day. And so I started like trimming hedges. Mark helped me get through the main part of it, which was the lawn. It was about 3 feet high when we got here. Mark and I looked at each other and we scratched our head. And we have this little tiny lawnmower about the size. It looked like a toy lawnmower. One of the ones I used to have when I was a kid, with the thing on the wheel and it makes sound, but there's no mower. Remember those? That's what the mower we had. And we had a couple weed eaters that really didn't work that great. Mark got one of them running, and we basically pounded it out because it had to be done. There were no other options. And basically, out of respect for the town, I mean, felt like I needed to try to put this property in some kind of a shape, And this isn't a knock on Mark's dad. It's just the circumstances. And a future point, I'll go in a little bit more detail about more of the story, but I want to respect Mark's privacy on that issue. But basically, through no fault of his own or his dad, I mean, it's just it's the circumstances and the situation. And so I'm here to help as much as I'm being helped, you see. So many trolls have come out and criticizing this channel and, have no idea what the circumstances of this situation are. Have completely no idea. And eventually when I reveal all that, they're going to be basically talking with their foot in their mouth because after, between the two of us and it's the only thing reasonable level of person to handle a situation like this, to help. And that's the only reason why I'm here. And because he believes in what we do on the channel too. So that's the story, you guys. Oh, I found out who the cat belonged to. So you guys talking about the cat. That's the neighbor's cat. I don't know his name yet, but I saw him walking around. They were petting him, and he lays down for them. He doesn't come near me. He's a black and white cat. He's a matrix cat. He's a, what do you call it? He's a what would you call him? He's a Freemason cat. Now, what if his name was Mason? That would trip me out. I'd be like, man. So, yeah, we had a matrix cat next door with the one-eyed symbolism. He's got one eye out. So he's got the whole one-eye symbolism going on. I've got the honeycomb matrix floor in my kitchen. So we'll just go with it and try to decode it later, I guess. And the cat has Kuru too. I don't know if you guys saw that video where the cat was just rocking his head back and forth. Anyway, he seems pretty normal. If he starts talking to me, like if he says, "Yow, here are the stars," if he does something like that, then sorry, Mark, I'm gonna have to move. Yeah. There's a where are you, Casey? Laugh out loud. Where? Oh, I'm up in the attic. Name the cat Hunamatana. When I Willie. There's a YouTube video. And John says, "Are you still on Twitter?" Yeah, I'm still on Twitter. I Twitter hard and don't do well at Twitter. I try to like the tweets that come to me, and I have automatic where if I post a video on YouTube, it'll tweet out. But I don't really spend a lot of time on Twitter, John. Sorry. What I was going to tell you is there's a YouTube video of a cat, Don Johnson cat. You will, if you're a cat lover, you will laugh all the rest of the day today. You'll share all your family and friends this cat, Don Johnson cat. And this cat, as you guys know, some cats talk. They sound like they're talking. And this cat, it's a black cat, and he's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna let you just have to listen to it." And it's real, you guys. It's not fake. It's actually the cat talking. It sounds like he's saying Don Johnson. It's the most hilarious thing I've ever seen in my whole life. One of my favorite. Long Johnson cat. Oh, he died. Oh, that's sad. Rest a while says he died. Long Johnson. Amanda's cat talks. That's cool. My dog Buddha talks at dog park only, says Buddha girl. To make sure you get information sent. It's all good. Thanks, John. Amanda Miller. So anyway, that's the story. I think what else before I get off here. Oh, you guys, there's 10 times as many chemtrails here than there are in the US. I've decided there's nothing I can do about chemtrails. I acknowledge that they're there. I get it, but I'm kind of done worrying about it. Miami Vice fan. Yeah, Righteous Hawk. Yeah. Mark and I were cruising around like Crockett and Tubbs because, of course, I'm black and Mark's like a white guy. And we were cruising around like with this dumb smile on our face because we're both so happy that I finally made it out here. And he's got a buddy for life now. And Miami Vice because Mark was kind of letting loose a little bit because he got a break. And so I don't know if you remember that scene out of what's the name of that movie? Oh, I can't think of it off the top of my head. Oh, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, where they park I think it was a Porsche in the parking garage, and the guys in the parking garage take the car out for a joyride, and they jump over like these train tracks, and they like get airborne, and they show it in slow motion. That was Mark and I when he was here. We were Crockett and Tubbs, man. It was, and people were looking at us like, "Who are these? This odd couple? Who are these guys? You know, what is their story?" We're cruising around, you know. Pretty funny. I had fun with it, but it's hard to have fun with it when you don't know the language. Normally, I'm pretty witty and pretty quick with people, but since I didn't know the language, I just kind of say bonjour. All right, what else do we have here in the chat? What do we have? Glad you guys can make it out this morning, Saturday morning. Would do security. Casey will pick it up. Yeah, I hope so. Ma belle Casey. That means my name is Casey. I'm picking up a few words. Just a few. Un, du. Un is one, du is two. So yeah, I guess Lundi is Monday. So I'm picking up a few. What time there, Casey? I'm cooking. I am roasting in this window. My laptop's very hot. It's got to be 150 degrees. I'm gonna have to pull this out of the window and end this, you guys. It's 5:15 here. Oh, by the way, it doesn't get dark till 10 p.m. here. There is no daylight savings, which is awesome. I could feel like I'm staying up late instead of trying to wait till the sun goes down to stay up, which is what I normally do. I'm like, man, I can't go to sleep now. The sun's still up. Well, here it's pretty easy to do because the sun's still up at 9 p.m. So I'm like, oh, I'm good. I don't have to wait for the sun to go down because the sun ain't going down till 10 or 10:30 at night. Does the sun feel different here? Today it feels hot, but France is at the 42nd latitude, which is very high. To give you an example, I think LA is like San Diego's like at 33 latitude, and then you don't get up into the 40s until you hit like the Canadian border. Okay, like the 49th, that's the 49th parallel. A good friend of mine is up north of the 49th because she's from Canada, and that's where that's where it is. So no, we're actually at 46, I think, but it's not as cold as you think it would be. It doesn't feel like Montana or like North Dakota here at all. I don't know why that is, but it more now I haven't gone through a winter here. I will tell you that in all fairness. But like right now, it's May, almost June. We're getting into summer, and it feels like spring or summer. And it feels, and there was like 1 or 2 cold days. Mostly it's been in like the high 60s, low 70s. Okay. And the summer will get hot, but because I'm kind of close to the beach, it'll stay kind of maybe overcast some days. Okay. So because I'm kind of near the border of the marine layer and inland is where I'm kind of at. So it's weird. Like you would think that being at this high latitude, it would be very cold here. It'd feel like Fargo, North Dakota, but it doesn't. It's an important role, says T. Kerr. Yeah. Nice thing is it always cools off. No matter how hot it gets today, the marine breeze will come through. It'll cool off. There's a lot of flies here. Big flies. Bigger than I've ever seen. Nobody has screens. At least there's no screens in this house. Maybe other people have screens. And so the flies just fly in and out. Do what they will. And so I'm chasing flies for a good hour of the day. I've learned not to really kill them. I just chase them out the door, and they just come in through a different door. So, all right. It's not cold because you're surrounded by water. Yeah, I kind of am, huh? Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I'll probably let you guys go. It's like identify this as taking off to you. What else? Casey, Lord of the Flies. Yeah, Lord of the Flies. Expert fly killer. That's a good girl. These flies are big. They make a mess when you kill them. It's messy. I have to wash windows when I'm done. Get screens and use Velcro. Oh yeah, good idea. Uh-oh, what's this? Oh, somebody's brakes. Oh, that's Benoit. Benoit's back. He had to go drop off a bike. Fly sticks work good. Chihuahuas will kill flies. That's pretty funny. Chihuahuas kill flies. Let's see here. Yeah. I'm not sure what to do about the mice. Apparently the word mice is a very difficult word in French. I guess it doesn't sound anything like the word mice. Every time I've tried to tell someone about a mouse who's French, they look at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, mice, like eek eek, like mice. And they're like, what are you talking about? So if anyone knows the word for mouse or mice, key, that would be helpful. Because for some reason, mice have come up a lot. And since I've been here in France, it came up with the Mercedes that I was supposed to drive. The mice got into the car and ate away the wires, and they couldn't fix it. And there's mice in my attic. Get a cat. I know, right? But what happens when I'm on the road? What's the poor cat gonna do? And what am I gonna do? Am I gonna lock the cat in the attic? It's so hot up here some days. Poor cat. He'd be angry at me. Probably catch all the mice. Yeah, I don't. And you know what? I'll tell you this. Growing up in the United States, it could never understand how someone could have a mouse problem. Why? Because in the United States, the homes are built so well because it's all new construction. Okay, for mice to get into your house. All right. There are no. I mean, unless they get in through the plumbing, that's where I've seen mice come in. Like the drain that goes out your house. Usually, there's a little space around that, and they can get in through there. If you ever have a mouse problem, it's the first place you should look. Is in your kitchen, the drain under the sink. Look to see if there's a hole around the pipe. That's your problem. And all you got to do is stick something in there, something hard, because I'll eat through anything else. Probably get rid of your mouse problem. But anyway, when I got here, now I get it. The houses have holes everywhere. There's a million places for animals to crawl in through. Like a million. Like this stone house is literally a wall of stones and mud. That's what it is. And if I take like a stick or something sharp, I can actually chisel out. Like if I need to do a jailbreak, like say I was surrounded by this thing and I was in jail, chisel out. It's like an that'd be Mark and I chiseling out of the stone house, right? Like in the movie Shawshank Redemption. What's the black guy? He was I can't remember his name. And then there was the white guy. Remember, and they escaped. So that would be Mark and I escaping from the stone house of France, right? So I'm up in this attic and I've got this stick and I'm just poking around, and it's literally like falling away. And I'm like, if I don't stop doing this, this whole wall could come down, right? So weird. So yeah, really cool stuff. It's not concrete. It's like mud. And somehow it stays up. Morgan Freeman. Thanks, Janet. And I can't remember the white guy's name, but that's Mark. What else we have going on? Uh-oh, allergies are kicking up again, you guys. I'm about to have a sneeze attack. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining today. I think I'm going to go sneeze my brains out for about 15 minutes, and then I'll fall asleep from the histamine. Any of you guys have allergies? Do you ever get sleepy and hungry after a sneeze attack? That's the histamine receptor, which controls your awareness and your hunger. So just so you know, a doctor will never tell you that because they don't know. Well, they know, but they don't think to tell you stuff like that. I always have to be careful because after I have a sneeze attack, I want to binge eat. It's like but just I want local. Can't find any local honeys around here. That was a bad joke. Were you vaccinated? Yes, I think that's where my allergies came from, to be honest with you. I was born in March, spring, so Tim Robbins, thanks, Hammurabi. Yeah, that's Mark. Yeah. You know what? My allergies had kind of gone away over the last 10 years, I'd say. But I had really bad allergies where I'd sneeze so bad I would blow out my eardrums. That's amazing. I can even hear right now. For all the times I've felt that cutting sensation inside your ears, where it feels like your eardrums have been blown out. That's what I used to do. And then I would sneeze so hard I would get like these muscle spasms, like horrible pain. And I suffered also from pluralism as a child, where my ribs stick to my lungs inside, and when it pulls away, it's this excruciating pain. So I had some health stuff, but I just toughed it out. You know, I didn't really need a bunch of medications. I really like the medications anyway. Oh wow, Deb and I have the same birthday. No way. That's the 80th day of the year, by the way, just so you know. Wow, that's pretty amazing. I didn't know that, Deb. Cool. So there's K Smalls in the house. So yeah, that's what's going on with the allergy thing, you guys. Crazy. And then what happened? Okay, so for a while before I left the Matrix, I think it was about 2010. 2010. I want to tell you a story. This is a true story. I was laid off from a job, and I started working for this company called Caldera, which is it's a medical device company. Okay, I was going for it. I was gonna, oh yeah, if you're at plan, you're gonna make $250,000 a year. This is what they tell you, right? And I wore scrubs to work, but I didn't go to work. My office was the field. My job was to go into hospitals, to basically surgery to insert this, I think it was polyethylene mesh for pelvic floor replacement, it was called. Also for urinary incontinence. So basically what they do is they take these giant inserters or needles. I had a kit. It was crazy. I walked around with like a pelvic model of a female anatomy, and these it looked like a Frankenstein kit. And luckily I never sold any. I got out of that job before I went further, but you can look all this up, you guys. I'm not making this up. And they had these it looked like a Frankenstein kit, and it had a helical inserter. It looked like a corkscrew that you would open a bottle of wine with. This was what they were using to insert this mesh, and they would pop in through your fascia and the membranes within of the. They would poke these threads through and then pull them through the other side, and then what they would do is then they would pull it tight, and it would create basically like a hammock. To simplify it, a hammock that would then straighten out your urethra, which was a kinked urethra was the cause of urinary incontinence or leakage. I guess after a woman has a child or a couple kids, things can get shifted and moved around down there, and problems can arise. You can have urinary incontinence. You can have issues with constipation. You can have issues with your uterus. Your uterus can shift. It can go retroverted, introverted. It can prolapse, which means it can actually come out and fall down out. So you'll need like a pessary. Like these things can happen once the woman has a child, right? This company had this mesh. There's a lot of mesh companies out there, but the one I worked for had a total pelvic floor replacement. It'd come in with this giant hammock, insert it into your pelvis, pull it up, and it would lift your entire inner anatomy of your pelvis to supposedly miracle surgery to restore you back to normal womanhood, right? Well, got news for you. Yeah, as Janet says, still hurts 10 years later. Yeah, that's the problem with those. It's a foreign body. Scar tissue can happen, like all of these things, right? But I don't even know why I started talking about this. Oh, that's why I started talking about it. Because in order to get into the hospitals, and anyone that works in a hospital knows this is true, you have to get all of your immunizations in order to work in the hospital. So that's what I had to do. This is before I was awake. This is 2010. It was actually the year before I really, and they basically, I had to go and get hepatitis shots. I had to get, I think I had to get tested for AIDS. I had to get all this stuff. And you know what, guys? As soon as I got that, guess what happened to me? I got asthma. I had never had asthma my entire life. With all those allergies I had suffered with, I never had asthma. After I got those immunizations, I had seasonal asthma. It wasn't all year. It was when allergies would hit, I would get asthma. I couldn't breathe. I needed an inhaler for like 4 years after that. 4 years, you guys. Now I'm better. I haven't had that in like 2 or 3 years where I've couldn't breathe, basically. I know what vaccines do, you guys. I know what they do because it did it to me. I was healthy. I was playing basketball twice a week. And I was like, whoa, I can't breathe. This is scary. Now I know what it's like. So that's the story, you guys, on that. And all of a sudden it's Grand Central over here. Less than a minute to go in the round. All right, guys. I guess I should probably, yeah, gosh, this computer's so hot. Backs are poison. Yes. Skin problems, headaches, sinus problems. Yep. 22 years out of the military. Yes, John. Wow, John. Yeah. A lot of people pick up Crohn's disease too after being in the military from all the weird vaccines and stuff they give you guys. All kinds of crazy stuff. All right, Buddha Girl. Appreciate you guys. Tried and true subscribers. We're gonna keep going strong. I feel like the channel is in good shape. You know, not as many people watch, but that's on them. You know, we put out good information here. I feel like there's always new stuff to talk about. Reason I guess a lot of people want sensationalism, or maybe they just don't feel part of our family. And that's okay, you know, because we are a family, you guys, and this is what we do. And I'm glad you guys enjoy the videos. Some people have told me, enter the stars and stop talking about France. Like, no, I live here. This is what I'm going to do. Okay. And I'm still going to hunt for the truth. But I feel like everyone can get some enrichment out of this experience. And I want to share it with you guys. You know, if I was selfish, I would have never even mentioned that I came to France. I would have just be here and just keep decoding stuff like Black Child. Like, you don't know where Black Child is. He just puts out a video. He doesn't really talk about his personal life. I want you guys to be part of my personal life. If that hurts my channel, if that makes not as many people watch, that's on them. If they want these anonymous channels who just keep beating the drum that everything's Illuminati and chase all the headlines, then they belong over there. You guys are special because you're getting stuff from it, and we're all learning from each other. That's what this channel's always been about. All of us together. Okay? And no matter what people say, I'm going to stay on track. You know, I would have never met Mark and been in this situation if I wasn't real, if I wasn't who I am, and if I wasn't staying true to the values and the things that I believe in the direction of this channel. Maybe the message wouldn't have resonated with Mark, and he wouldn't have extended and offered this. Like if I was like a Black Child channel, I'm not criticizing Black Child. I'm just saying it's a much different channel. I'm in there with you guys in the comments. I'm in there. We're interacting with each other. I'm not just putting out videos that you're watching. Okay. We're interacting. This is a family. Okay. And so it's different vibe here. And if we didn't have that vibe, maybe Mark wouldn't have reached out. You know, he wouldn't have felt like he's part of anything. He would have just felt like he was being entertained, which is what happens on a lot of channels now. People like to watch a channel to hear a good rant or to expose, you know, all this crazy stuff with these celebrities and pop stars. And look, I do some of that. What I'm saying is people can get addicted to that. They can get addicted to who's the first person who's going to decode what happened. Okay. It's not all just about that, you guys. It's also about figuring out how to live this life, which is what I'm trying to do now. I'm trying to share that with you guys. My tomato plants are doing pretty well. And I'm going to, as soon as they get twice as high as they are now, I'll do another video. I don't know if they're going to bear fruit. So that'll be like our next test. Because me, the dum-dum, didn't put the tomato plants in the full sun because I've been programmed to believe that the sun hurts plants. How stupid is that? The sun hurts plants. No, it doesn't. Plants love the sun. But I've been programmed to think that it's if it burns my skin, it's going to burn the plant skin. Plants love the sun, especially tomato plants. Full sun, 8 hours a day. Well, I planted them partially in the shade because I thought they needed partial shade because I thought they were like a house plant. So we will see if the tomatoes bear fruit. Then what I'm going to do, and I have done this before, I'm going to show you how to preserve the tomatoes because there's no way I'm going to be able to eat 500 tomatoes, right? But what I will do is I will crush the tomatoes. I'll make tomato pastes. I'll make tomato sauces. I can put this tomato sauce in my baguette bread, which is really good for you. You know, when I was a kid, my kids were small, vegetables today. I had ketchup on my hot vegetable. Not really. It's loaded with sugar too. So, all right, guys. Hope you guys got to laugh a little bit today. I think so often we're just too serious. Yeah, those birds are chirping. Let's hear. It's like a billion birds here, and they're different kinds of birds. A lot of swallows. Wow, it's beautiful. Sky's rolling by pretty rapidly. The chemtrail haze. Chemtrail haze in my brain. That's like a what is that? Okay. All right, let's hear. Go trade them in town, learn the language people of homegrown. Oh, trade them in town. Good idea, John. I will go trade some tomatoes. Oh, I can bring them to neighbors. Is easy. That is anytime like I deal with temperatures and things, I don't, it's kind of over my head. It's above my pay grade. I'm not good at that stuff, but I can smash things and I can freeze things. I guess that's a guy thing, right? I'll smash it and freeze it and it'll last forever. It's got to be a guy thing. That's why the ladies are so good at things like canning because they can do 5 steps at a time, right? On something. All right, K Small says no delay. No delay. Right on. That's because I'm up in the attic and I'm creeping out on my neighbors. She's like, why is this guy talking to himself out of a window? So, all right. What else? There's Mia Vengeance. All right, Saturday morning. Sabbath today. We don't really know when the real Sabbath is because according to the Hebrew calendar, it's based on the moon and it kind of moves and shifts. And so the Saturday that we think is the Sabbath isn't always the Sabbath. So, yeah. Let's see here. I've grown tomatoes for a few years. It's fun and keeps you centered. Yeah, there's something about it. Now, here's what I don't understand. Figure it out together. Where did the tomato worms come from? I mean, you could be literally growing tomatoes 500 miles from civilization or any other plant or living thing. And when you start growing tomatoes, tomato worms appear out of nowhere. I've always noticed that anytime in my life I've seen tomatoes growing, here comes the tomato worms. And these things are massive. They're gross looking. Yeah, they come from moss, but like where do these moss come from? I mean, do they come from like 100 miles away? Do they smell tomatoes? Like, how does this all work? Well, I got things crawling on me in this attic. Freaking out. So, yeah. And if we get some tomato worms, of course, I'm going to film those. All right. Then I had a loose door. There's all kinds of weird things that go on in old houses. I had a loose door, kept banging. I'm like, oh, great. It's haunted. Thanks, Mark. And then I figured it out. It was a door in this, like I said, this attic's real drafty. Okay, you can actually see sunlight through this roof. I don't know how it keeps out the water, but there's no leaks. But it's real drafty. So it's, and the doors are kind of old, so there's a wasp back. So they bang, things bang with the wind. So then I figured it out. And there was a door that was banging. It was the attic door. It took me 2 weeks to figure out. It kept waking me up in the middle of the night. I'm like, who's banging on my door? Because I had to, there was a piece of foam, large piece of foam downstairs. So I took an X-Acto knife and I cut out a piece of it and I glued it to the door jamb. I did a little home improvement thing. We're good at like fixing things, right? With nothing. and it fixed it. So now it doesn't bang. So I fixed my door banging problem. So, all right, guys. Folks just picked up their kids from school on the window. All right. Here, listen to the French people. Bonjour. Let's see here. Micro worm. That's learned so much in 12 weeks. Just in the chat with you guys. Mambo, thanks Jessica Mambo for all the support on this channel. Prayers for you. Just reading in the chat. Oh, the chat stopped. Oh, there it goes. Simplify, brothers and sisters. Take care out there wherever you are, says John Smith. Casey, you are even learning the accent. Nice. Thanks, Kay. I guess it doesn't feel like it. But you notice how it's like it's a given that you have to say. Everyone says bonjour, and salut is like hi. It's like short for hello, which is bonjour. So yeah, I guess I am picking up some French. I guess if you don't think about it, and you just like, because if you think about it, it's intimidating. You're like, there's no way. There's just no way. But then if you don't think about it, it just kind of happens, right? Which is like life. God says, don't worry about things. So, oh, figure it out together. Says, glad you got Vitacost up. Yes. Thanks for the reminder. Look, guys, a lot of you are already shopping at Vitacost. Please, please, please. When you go to put your next order in, use my link. And then they give me like 4%. So it helps support the channel and it doesn't cost you anything extra. I know a lot of you on that Vitacost video said you were already shopping at Vitacost. Like 20 of you had said that. So that helps, you guys. It's not a lot of money, but it adds up and it helps. So Jessica speaks French and Dutch. Wow. K Small loves the healing salve. Cool. Can I order from Australia? I think you can. I think they ship to like something. But you know, don't go broke on shipping. Like, look into shipping and see how much it's going to cost. I don't want you guys to you know, if you can get it locally, where it costs $20 to ship it, do it. But go through to the checkout and it'll tell you how much the shipping is. It'll be free. So check it out. All right, you too. Mia says have a wonderful evening. Great rest of your day. All right, guys. I'm gonna bug out of here. Underground World News is tonight. I think he's gonna have it at 8 o'clock, the regular time. He's gonna send me a link, and if I'm awake at 2 o'clock in the morning, then I might be on the show. I think it's like it's like 2 in the morning. So I will try, you guys. He canceled it last night. We had a lot going on, but I'll try to be on, you guys. Much love. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, you guys. Take care and be safe. I'm gonna go sneeze and binge eat and go to sleep.